Oh man, wow, what a tense finish to that Man United Everton game. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about initially Arsenal Football Club. Are they actually proper title contenders? And of course, there's some Chelsea news that's gone around, Mason Mount and his contracts, and a couple of players, in regards to contingency plan. Let's get on with this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at this. I think, do you know what? A lot of people were saying, Miz, are you going to do the watch along for Liverpool, Arsenal versus Liverpool? It was an insane time, man. 2:30 a.m. I mean, if it was a Chelsea match, 100% I'd watch it. But 2:30 a.m., I ain't staying up, especially waking up on the Monday next day for work. So, but, as I expected, it was going to be a blockbuster, and it definitely was. I haven't watched the highlights yet. I definitely want to watch the complete sort of highlights. But I've seen the goals, and I've seen a lot of people say what they had to say in social media about Arsenal, that Arsenal played really well. Gabriel Martinelli absolutely tore apart Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that's exactly what I expected. And overall, the scoreline kind of flatters Liverpool. I mean, look, I've been saying it for a little while. I'm not surprised. I am not one bit surprised that Arsenal has beaten Liverpool Football Club. This isn't a purple patch for Arsenal. Like, they've been like this for a good part of last season, sort of from the middle onwards till at the end, they really just, kind of folded. They really shouldn't have, but they did. They bottled it. But start of this season, from preseason till now, this isn't a purple patch anymore. This is proper serious. And we need to take Arsenal very, very seriously. I mean, yes, last season there were times where I bantered them. You guys have bantered them. Even seasons prior to that, they were a banter club. Everything was going wrong for Arsenal. But it feels like finally they've got the right players. They've got some key players, man. They've got some really, really good players in key positions. Gabriel Martinelli, I'd have to say he's probably one of the best wingers at the moment in the Premier League. I don't know about being the number one winger in the Premier League, but he's up there, man. He's up there, at least in the top three, I'd have to say. Gabriel Jesus, a fantastic player up front. Can play anywhere up front. He's a number 9 for them. Odegaard is a very, very good creative player. Saka on the other side as well. Like Saka and Martinelli, as I said, some of the two up-and-coming proper, very good wingers in the Premier League. In the midfield, they've got Xhaka, who's sort of rejuvenated himself. Partey in defense. It's looking really good for them. And Saliba in defense. Unbelievable. This and the biggest factor is they've all bought in on Mikel Arteta. They've all bought in on him. Like there's no. We'll get to what Aubameyang had to say. Aubameyang has lashed out in regards to Arteta, but all the players that Arsenal have right now, they've absolutely listened to Mikel Arteta, and it shows in the way they play. They press well. Their passing is very, very crisp and quick. For me, I'd have to say they're proper title contenders now. I mean, if they can continue like this by the time World Cup comes around, and then when January comes around, if they add a couple of more players, which I'm pretty sure if they're on top of the table, they will add a couple of players, then they're general title contenders. Of course, for me, Man City is still the number one favorite. I mean, how do you stop Erling Haaland and that City team? I think eventually enough, Man City will pip them. But Arsenal, they've probably, I feel like there's a change in guard, right? They've properly taken a stranglehold in that second place. And Liverpool now, ladies and gentlemen, and the other factor, look at this picture, Arsenal officially title contenders. Do you know what? This isn't the first time I've seen a picture like this. I remember last week in the North London derby when Xhaka scored, or was it Thomas Partey? I think Thomas Partey scored, and they celebrated. And they quickly went into a huddle. Like literally, after finishing the celebration, they quickly went into the huddle, and the huddle was run by Xhaka. And it was similar to like this, where they were very focused as a team, man. I've not seen too many teams scoring a goal, celebrating for a short amount of time, and then getting into a huddle and sort of like getting together and that camaraderie as a team, which is crazy. I've not seen that from Arsenal Football Club. Now, in regards to Aubameyang, as I said, Aubameyang, this is what Aubameyang had to say about Mikel Arteta. To manage big characters or big players, Arteta can't deal with it. Arteta needs some young players. They don't say anything. They listen. Look, I don't know. Aubameyang is salty about the whole situation with Arsenal. There's some pain, you can tell. But I don't know if this was necessary to come out and say things like that. It only creates a little bit of animosity that probably isn't required. But look, he wants to be open about this situation. And it's probably true. Arteta, he didn't want any sort of personalities that was going to hinder his management at Arsenal Football Club. So look, what does it mean for us? Can Graham Potter handle big personalities? I just hope Aubameyang just relax, don't do anything, let your football do the talking, and let's not have any controversies and whatnot, and have a very good, successful career, however short it may be, at Chelsea Football Club. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, in these sort of situations, I'll always back the manager, man. The manager should be the center piece of the situation, and not a particular player. In regards to Liverpool, ladies and gentlemen, does this mean they're in the decline? I feel like there's a change of guard happening. There really is. I think Liverpool are slowly falling off. And there's talks about Jurgen Klopp being sacked. Like, some of the Liverpool fans are now really getting behind this Klopp out situation. I know it's mad to think like that, but do you know what I mean? It could potentially happen. This is what I said to a lot of Liverpool fans before the start of this season when they sold Sadio Mane, is that don't think just because you brought in players like Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez, it's just going to all click into gears. Jurgen Klopp he would go down as a fantastic manager if he's able to, reinvigorate another new team. Do you know what I mean? Reinvent another team. He's had this particular team for a while now, and they're sort of slowly getting to the older side of things. And maybe that's the thing, this is where Pep Guardiola has been so phenomenal. He's been able to consistently change, bring in fresh faces, and consistently getting the best out of them season in, season out. And fresh ideas as well. He had Sergio Aguero up front, fluid. Then Sergio Aguero left, and they started playing with the false line with KDB at times playing as a striker. Now they've got Haaland as the sort of like the central sort of main focal point. He's been changing his philosophies around a lot. He's been changing his players around a lot, and he's been freshening things up season in, season out. Whereas Klopp, he's not been able to do that. He's kept the core, and I think the core is now on the peak is done. It's on the decline. Players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's mad to say, he's like 23 or 24, something like that. And it seems like he's a shadow of a player. Has he played a lot of football at an early stage? We'll see. Perhaps it's just a bad form that he's going through at the moment. But he's getting picked off week in, week out. And I think he's just limped off injured as well. Virgil van Dijk, is he done? I think he's probably done, man. Like that injury last season, it was last season, wasn't it? Or the season before that? No, it was the season before that with Jordan Pickford. Has that created a bit of an issue for Virgil van Dijk? Virgil van Dijk probably wasn't really that great last season either. And this season, once again, getting picked off. And overall, that midfield for Liverpool just not looking good. Look at this, 14 points off top of the table, beaten by rivals Man United and Arsenal. We're starting the league since 2012, 2013. 2 goals in 8 league games for Salah. Face Man City next up. I mean, after all of that trauma that they went through today against Arsenal, they're about to face Man City and Erling Haaland next week, which is only going to get tougher. Mo Salah as well. I mean, was it wise to give him a new contract and a bumper deal, knowing he's probably past his prime as well and on the way now, sort of on the way down? Like, I mean, it's not like the chart isn't right here, but he was probably there in the peak, and now it's slowly tilting down a little bit like that. So was it wise? And how much of Mo Salah is Mo Salah without Sadio Mane? Like, don't forget, Sadio Mane was a key cog. So look, Liverpool, they're in serious trouble. They're in serious trouble, and I wouldn't be one bit surprised if they get beat hard against Man City. I think Jurgen Klopp is going to be in a bit of a trouble over there. Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool injuries. Luis Diaz, something with the knee not looking good. So Luis Diaz is potentially gone as well for them. Alexander-Arnold was forced off with a twisted ankle. Arthur Melo, not available for 3 to 4 months. This is the other thing, man. And this is a message that goes out to Chelsea as well. We're going to talk about Denis Zakaria soon. These panic buys, man. Football clubs have got to stop these panic buys. Arthur Melo, he wasn't good at all in Juventus, and even at Barcelona was a bit part player. Injuries have ruined his career, yet Liverpool goes out and tries to get this guy because they've got some midfield issues. When they had Michael Edwards, they were ahead of the game. Now it seems like they're not ahead of the game. This is why it's so important. We've got the sporting director. We need to get. We've got the technical director. It's not been official yet, but I think we've most likely got that guy, Christopher Vivell. I think we're looking for that sporting director. Very important to have this. All right, now some Chelsea news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking: Chelsea are looking at Lorenzo, Pelegrini, and Yeremino Pino as contingency plans as Mason Mount contract talks drag on. However, there remains an expectation that an agreement will be reached. Pelegrini is admired at Chelsea. This is from Mike McGrath, who's off the Telegraph, so you got to take it somewhat seriously. Other options have been addressed by Chelsea for the attacking midfield. Mount contract talks started in the summer, and there remains no agreement. A deal for Mount would take time. Do you know what? Look, I'm not one bit worried about this. Let me just have a quick look at this comment here from Simon Phillips. Ongoing negotiations for Mason Mount's new contract. Being told there's many bits to tie up, but the general feeling is it will be done. Mason to get a similar deal to RJ. Reece James wants to stay long-term with us. I'm hopeful of the outcome. Look, ladies and gentlemen, Mason Mount ain't going anywhere. He's Chelsea through and through. And look, it's highly unrealistic to think that Chelsea's going to let go of him. Proper, academy boy, Cobham lad. And some of these names, Yeremy, Pino, and Pellegrini, look, it's not a couple of players that I've watched. I've seen bits and pieces. Yeremy Pino, there's a lot that's been talked about him. Ryan, as you know, who features on the channel, likes Pino a lot. He can play on that right side winger, can play through the middle as well. Got a lot of technical abilities, pace, very good with dribbling 1v1. Pellegrini is also a very technical player, very good player. But are they miles ahead of Mason Mount? I don't know, especially these two names. That's just my personal opinion. I've not really watched those guys too much. You guys can let me know in the comment section below. But Mason Mount, look, I know he hasn't been that great over the last few months, but in the last couple of games, he's slowly coming around, and I hope this continues. He's far more involved in the game, not just looking at assists and goals. Like, he's off the ball work in defense as well, build up. And he's chipping in with some assists last game, some really good assists as well. Probably should have got a couple of assists against AC Milan. So, look, I don't think Mason Mount's going anywhere, and I don't necessarily want him to go anywhere either. In regards to the contract, Reece James style of contract, look, the length of contract, no problems. But that level of money, I think Reece James is something around 250k. Reece James is a phenomenal player. For Mason Mount to be earning that level of money, that's probably where it's a little bit iffy, because, look, it's all got to make sense, right? If you're going to earn that level of money, you've got to produce week in, week out. And this is what I expect. If that's what ends up happening, which probably will, he will get a contract extension and it will be a bumper deal, which he deserves. But does he deserve to be somewhere alongside Reece James's money? Look, only performance will sort of decide that. And this is where I need Mason Mount to have the level of performance he's had against AC Milan and against Wolves on a week-to-week basis. Yes, you can have that odd game here and there bad, but on a regular basis, you've got to put in 110%, my man, because that's the only way it's going to justify the level of money you're earning. Because we don't want to create a precedent where you're not playing to the level that you should be playing, or your wages are demanding you should be playing, and you're not there. And then soon you'll see other players demanding that level of money, which is not fair. Reece James is getting that level of money because he is damn good. Damn good. He is world class. He is world class. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's about Mason Mount. Let me know what your thoughts are in regards to Mason Mount. Now, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea will discuss Denis Zakaria soon. Thomas Tuchel wanted him, but with Graham Potter, 0 minutes, and he's not even on the bench. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. First of all, Thomas Tuchel wanted him. I find that very, very strange, and I'll tell you why. At that point, on the last day, Todd Bowley had already decided. Todd Bowley and Igbali and the consortium, the new ownership, they'd already decided at that point that Thomas Tuchel was probably not going to stick around, right? And it was literally a game later, or a couple of games later, once the transfer window was closed, that Thomas Tuchel got sacked. So by then, it was written that he was going to get sacked. So to say that Thomas Tuchel wanted him and Todd Bowley and Igbali went out there and got him, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't think Thomas Tuchel wanted him. I really don't think so. Thomas Tuchel all along was saying that, he's fine in midfield. He's got all these midfield players. We were heavily linked with Edson Alvarez right at the end. I think this, honestly, Zakaria was a panic buy. It really was. For me, I think it was a panic buy. And now with Graham Potter in charge, even with Thomas Tuchel, the 2 games he was there just after, I think it was a couple of games, just after the transfer window closed, Zakaria wasn't anywhere to be seen. He wasn't ready. And now under Graham Potter, he's still nowhere to be seen, not even in the squad at times. So the way Ruben Loftus-Cheek is playing in midfield, he's the extra body. So you've got Kante, you've got Jorginho, you've got Kovacic, and now you've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And now Chukwuemeka could potentially be part of that as well. So Zakaria, there was no thought process. There really was no thought process. And if it's me, and if it continues like this till the World Cup and when the January window opens up, I'd be inclined to probably cancel that loan deal, because what's the point of having this player here? He's not going to be part of anything. So let's see what happens in the next few matches. I can't see how he gets minutes. I can't see how he gets minutes against AC Milan. I can't see how he gets minutes against Aston Villa next week. Maybe Man City in the cup match, but highly doubt, because you're going to play probably players like Chukwuemeka and so on and so forth. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything that we talked about. Mason Mount contract, Denis Zakaria, Arsenal Football Club. Are you taking them seriously? Are they proper title challengers? Liverpool, are they on the decline? For me, they are. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jurgen Klopp soon, with Manchester City up next. I think they're going to get a pasting. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button, guys. Let's try and get to, if you can get to about 400 likes on this, that'd be much, much appreciated. So let's try and do that. Till next time, everyone. Take care. See ya.